Hi guys, welcome back to Hair Dye Treatment. Soph and Meg are back, and I said I hope we'll be smiling, Meg. Far from that. I mean, I'll be honest, we're not going to be on live for long, purely because what do you say after that? Meg, how you feel?
I feel like I'm saying, hello, welcome to United's fan line. How can I help you? Oh, you're suffering from depression, aren't we all? Honestly, I don't know what's more painful.
Thank you for that. James, thank you for tuning in. Poor game, that was absolutely dreadful. Hey, Palace haven't come away with a win there. Well, it's down to Henderson, isn't it? There's two players for me who can hold their heads up high after that performance, and that's Henderson and Luke Shaw. Other than that, absolutely awful. You know, I'm a massive Rashford fan, and I'm going to stand here. I'm going to sit here and be honest and say that he was awful tonight. Strolling around the pitch, looked like he couldn't be asked, to be honest, Megan. He wasn't the only one as well. But, you know, first half, we started poorly, and I felt like we had a little spell where I thought we were getting back into it. Second half, we're thinking, we're a second half team. We've been known as that this season. Ollie'll have a word with them. They'll come out. They'll be up for it. We were walking around the pitch. Meg, I'm literally seeing Manchester United players walking around the pitch. I'm seeing us into extra time when after a goal. Eric Boyer standing with the ball in his hand and Luke Shaw stood at the side of him waiting to take a throw in. Where's the urgency, Meg? Like,
what's the urgency across the whole game? The passing, slow. Movement, slow. And like we sat here and said, do you know what? It's not always about performance, and especially at the moment, it's very much about the points. And we didn't even have a performance; we didn't get all the points. Sorry, my phone's just gone off.
It's all right. But you know what? Look, being honest, that game did we create anything really, like of any magnitude, where you think, we definitely should have scored there? Like, Meg,
the Matic one was the first half, but that was the highlight of the whole first half. That one opportunity.
Yeah. The attitude, the body language from the majority of the players out there. I'm fuming right now. I mean, I literally am fuming. I'm kind of lost for words at a bit. I expected us at some point just to click into the gear. Just didn't happen. I'm frustrated, Meg. Boring, slow, half-assed.
Do you know, like, I wrote a couple of notes because that's the kind of person I am. Look, evidence. That like I was trying to pick up positives from that first half. Well, I didn't write one positive for the second half, so that's how bad it was. Bar the Henderson save at the end, because I think you've got to give credit where credit's due. That Henderson save at the end, fantastic. The fact that he was ready after that whole entire game to still produce a save, and that saved 3 points. That saved a point, for us. That means we didn't lose all three. But the first half, I've got down that Rashford and Shaw, when we did attack at times, that left-hand side was more dominant. And I thought we'd exploit that a little bit more. And we didn't. At times, their right back didn't know what he was doing. He'd got Rashford and Shaw both up there. And we just stopped doing it. It just didn't click. We were doing it for about 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes at a match for like a real push, then just stopped. And at that point, that's when we just conceded and we weren't going to win the game. We didn't want to go on and exploit an area of weakness for them. If that's your attitude and you just think it's going to happen, then it's not.
If I was making notes right now, I feel like I would have dug the pen into the paper, scrawled into the paper,
broke the pen. I don't even know why my pen's gone, mate.
Yeah. Juicy Jess, thank you so much for the super chat. Says this game was painful to watch. Seriously, Manchester United has broken me. I don't care anymore. Ollie needs to go after this season. That tonight, Meg. Does Ollie take some of the blame as well, in your opinion? Obviously, you have to say the players didn't look up for it. You'd still expect a team with those names to be good enough to go and beat Crystal Palace. There is that argument, but at the same time, substitutions again, I think question. Like I say, we're meant to be going for it. We always said Fred and Matic in the middle. For me, it just doesn't work. And sorry, but Fred's passing in and around the box. He keeps picking up in them areas and immediately the attack breaks down. And it's not just him. I know there's other players who weren't good enough as well, but in and around the box, Meg, he's absolutely awful. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
The whole thing, we'll go back to the comment that's just down here as well. I think it's a 50-50 because the way that the players played, and not just the way that they played, but their attitude when they were playing, that for me rides on the players. That's your responsibility. You have to go out there and you have to prove that you are there to play. Your attitude needs to say that you are there to play. and that's not down to Ollie. That's as a player. So 50% players, 100%. They have to take responsibility for the way that they turn up to a game, and mentally you have to be there to go and win and show that you're going to be there to win, because you shouldn't just be strolling about. And then I don't know about the whole Martial and De Gea thing. Obviously, there's rumours flying around that De Gea's wife's going to give birth, and then obviously that's fair enough. But is that going to throw them a little bit? But just Fred, man, just not a fine performance of him at all.
Yeah,
and he has had his moments this season where he has been really good, but that will not be in his highlights for the season at all.
We've said it a few times, haven't we, mate, going forwards. Obviously, it always falls to him in and around the box, and it's just not good enough. But so it breaks down every single time Fred gets the ball in around there. He tries some stupid pass, he rushes it, he swings at it with his right foot. So frustrated. I'm so angry right now, honestly. Like, I literally am struggling for words. Jackie obviously is a Palace fan. I can understand why you're feeling angry after that, because hey, you haven't beaten us. Like I say, we're ambling around the pitch, defensively awful, literally giving you the ball at times. Maguire faulty of that. And that, Meg, as a centre back, I'm going to pinpoint this as well. I spotted this, and I'm not even a defender, but that chance towards the end for Palace where Maguire steps up so late, like you could see from a mile away. If he does that against Man City, if we play anywhere near this against Man City, I fear what the score's going to be.
Well, and this is no disrespect to Palace, because they're Premier League players anyway, and they should be able to find a ball like this. But the vision to see that Maguire is stepping up and to place a ball through two defenders, and we're talking about Crystal Palace player, we've got Man City players to face at the weekend. Then the difference between Crystal Palace and Man City is extravagant. The Man City are top of the league, and they're there for a reason, because they have one of the most talented teams in the world. They will find passes like this. They will see the fact that they can split two defenders easy. And if Crystal Palace can do it, yeah, okay, it takes them 90 minutes to do it, but if Crystal Palace can do it, Man City will do that within 10 minutes. The other thing as well, Townsend had a shot, and we're talking about defenders, I will just carry on with this. Came from their free kick, we didn't clear our lines. And we talk about this all the time, about anticipating where the ball is going to drop when we're defending something, like a corner, free kick, a cross. Anticipate where that next ball's going to go. We didn't. Shot car lands to a Crystal Palace player, Townsend inches away from opening and scoring. Probably about 50 minutes in, I think it was. Yeah,
comment of the night from Ian. He says, "Thank goodness for the mist. Make me only have to watch half of the pitch for this." To see, you couldn't see that awful. I don't want to say performance. Like, we didn't perform at all. It was woeful. I've already mentioned Rashford. First off, you know what? He had a few runs. He miscontrolled it. He wasn't sharp. But what I would say, him and Shaw on that left hand side, as you mentioned, were a threat. Second half, though, Meg. I mean, the first time he got the ball, it went 100, and it went out for a throw in. And then he was just sulking, just moaning, just did not look like he was bothered. And I'm a big Rashford fan, but I've got to say his attitude in that second half for me was disgusting. And he wasn't the only one, but it just really stood out to me, because I was thinking, you know what, like, that left side was there for the taking, in my opinion. We looked really threatening down that left-hand side. And like you say, we just didn't exploit it. It wasn't like we couldn't exploit it. It's more like we just couldn't be asked to. We didn't want to.
We stopped doing it, and I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know who the Crystal Palace right back is, but Rashford twisted him up a couple of times, got into the box, made a last-ditch tackle on one of them, broke it up. But we seemed to be pressing on that left-hand side. The majority of our attacks were coming from that side. We seemed to be getting a bit of joy out of it, but we didn't continue to do that. And it makes you kind of wonder why. Why did that stop being connected? Probably because our passes were so poor. It wasn't just so it was slow, they were so poor. But I'm not going to sit here and focus on everything negative. I want to just drop in that the positive was the left-hand side.
Yeah, I'm Blue. Thank you so much for the super chat. It says, people have been talking about how trash Dan James is, and that he has no football IQ, but nobody talks about Rashford because he's the British wonder child. But he is just as bad as Dan James, one-trick pony. I do think he's becoming a bit predictable, Meg. I've got to say this. I do think I want him to go on his left a bit more, be a bit more direct. He always seems to favour coming in on that right. Do you know what I mean? I'd like him to go either way. He can do that. I want it to be a bit more positive, with confidence thing. I don't know what it is, but to be fair, I'm going to go into Dan James. I thought when he came on, He should have done better with a header, no doubt about that. But at least he actually tried to beat him, and he had a bit of direct run into the box. He tried to make something happen. Like, all game, we just had no desire, did we, Meg? It looked like we were just waiting for the time to tick by and we couldn't wait to get on.
You pretty much just summed it up. It was like the game just passed us by. We were just there, but we weren't really interested. It looked like we weren't interested in it. Rashford, to me, we've said it before that he's not playing out. I don't think we've seen this 100% Rashford that we have known before. I think that even though he has done really well this season, he's probably only played at about 80%. Today was not an 80% performance. It was nowhere near an 80% performance. But just not just him. I think everyone just looked off it. I also want to just pull up the comment about my living room. Someone put, where is it? About having more fun looking at my living room than looking at watching that performance. Acid 23. I reckon I'm having a better time looking at Meg's living room than that performance.
Exactly. Watching paint.
Honestly, like this, the Hoovers out. See, I'm the domestic goddess. Where is it? The absolute domestic goddess. I've been hoovering.
United were like a Hoover tonight. It's such a life. So cool. But subs. Let's get on to the subs, Meg. What's your thoughts about that? Obviously, we've got Ahmed on the bench. For me, I'm thinking Ollie should be throwing the kitchen sink at this. He should be going for it. I don't care how young they are. We need some flair. We need something to happen up top. We're so predictable, so slow, so boring. We bring on McTominay for Fred, which I kind of agree with, but for me, that should have happened way, way earlier. It's too late, isn't it? Like, there's no impact from the subs. There's nothing, like, I think commentators said it, like, it's like we're just passing the ball and waiting for someone to just come up with a moment. Like, we're not doing enough to create a chance.
But if you are waiting, if you are going to go for that and be like, okay, we will wait for just a spark off an individual, then allow players like Ahmad or Shorty to come on and just play. They've got no fear. They're young. They've got no fear. They can just come in and do what they want. If you're waiting on that, that's what you want, a player to pick up and do that, then bring a player like that on and allow them to just go and play.
Yeah.
But McTominay's not that kind of player that I think will do that. I don't know why. Why didn't you just go, okay, go on and play? And then, but that's not a system. That's not a system of play for me. But if that's what they're going for, then why wouldn't you do it?
Someone said probably at Pontins washing the bowls than that drop. Honestly, it's like she sent me to sleep. I feel a bit tired, not gonna lie, and I was all right up until that match, but shocking. Jack, you are spot on. I thought Eze had a really good game. Kouyaté as a makeshift centre back had a really good game as well. I think he got man of the match in the end, didn't he? I was surprised that Eze went off. I thought he was a big threat for us. Obviously, Schlupp came on for him. Henderson, Meg, another positive, like we say. Him and Shaw are the only two that can hold their heads up for me after today's game. That save at the end, I mean, it could have quite easily been a loss, couldn't it? It should have been a loss.
Easily. So pull up the comment by XS to the Rave Zone. The whole team played badly. We miss Pogba. Now, I wrote at half-time that Pogba-Bruno connection. At times, especially towards the end of the game, Bruno didn't play well. His passing wasn't there. He didn't look lost, but he didn't know what he was meant to be, where that other flair, but nobody on the same wavelength as him.
Yeah.
That Bruno Pogba connection, I feel like we're really missing it. Really missing it.
I get that. I do get it, but you can't tell me that the players that were named today aren't good enough to beat Palace. And that's not me disrespecting Palace. I'm just saying we've got a good enough squad. We should be able to cope without Pogba. Do you know what I mean? We should be able to manage with that. Obviously, De Gea not being in there, but like say Henderson saved us the game in the end. Yeah, City at the weekend. I mean, someone just said I haven't got to worry about being at another watch along that's a 0-0 draw because we're not going to keep a clean sheet. Well, I'm genuinely right now in this moment in time, I'm dreading what the score's going to be.
I sit here as a Manchester United fan and think, do you know what? But could we pull it out against Manchester City? We play like we've just played against Crystal Palace and we'll be on the receiving end of a 9-0, not dishing it out this season. They need to find something very, very quickly in between now and the weekend. Mm-hmm. One, the goal would be a first thing that we need to find. We need to recognise what a goal is and go and find one. And then the whole attitude and performance needs to match up. you can't expect a brilliant performance if you've not got the attitude for it. So find the right balance right now.
I agree. And in terms of Pogba, I do agree. I think we do miss Pogba in there because we said like Matic and Fred for me. We don't need two players like that in the CDM. It'd be nice to have someone like Matic and then Pogba in there as well. At least you got a bit of a mixture there. Pogba driving forwards. Thought when McTominay came on, he did that. He did drive forwards. He should have shot really early when he got a chance win on the half term. I think it was his first touch. But again, it's just too late. Like I don't know what Ollie's expecting players to do at that point in the game. Like this, you could see pretty much immediately from the second half. You could see nothing was changing, and something needed to change. And he just didn't do it again. Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. One of the worst games this season. I feel like all the life has been sucked out of me. No spark, apart from Henderson, who else played well for us. Luke Shaw's the only one I can think of, Meg. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for me, I think I'd give Henderson probably our player of the match. Yeah. Because of the save at the end. Simply because of that. The first half, I don't feel like they overly tested us. They had a few half opportunities or created a half opportunity within the first 15 minutes, down to our doing though, not because we gave the ball away, it was sloppy, but just a huge save at the end from Henderson. Again, are we looking at it and saying, he's taking his opportunity? For him, he's going to walk off that pitch and say, do you know what, I did my job. Because if you look at the score, it's 0-0. Now, as a defender, I would look at a game and say, I did my job as a defender. My job is to defend the goal, and we didn't concede. So Henderson, as the goalkeeper, will come off and say to you, I did get a clean sheet. Is he taking his opportunity? That's a question for everyone in the comments. Is Henderson taking his opportunity when he's in the team and getting a clean sheet? What more can he do? Because he's not going to score the goals, is he? Let's face it. What more can Henderson do?
But like I say, today we could be sitting there talking about a 1-0 loss if he didn't make that great save at the end. So, yeah, a really important one. Keith, thank you so much for that. He says we're making him happy for being here, even though he ended up turning the TV off. I do not blame you for turning the TV off, and I'm glad that we can bring a bit of joy, even though we're feeling frustrated right now, as well as obviously all you fans are as well. Stanley says, Shaw had to hit the target in the end. Yeah, Luke Shaw with his right foot, to be like Fred on it with his right foot as well. Literally just swinging a wild leg at it. He did not have any conviction in that at all, did he? And I would have looked, everything would have been for him to actually get the winner as well, Luke Shaw, after how he's been playing. Well, I felt for him at the start. I thought he was going to go off injured after that tackle near the start, and he obviously recovered from that. But, yeah, it just fell to the wrong person. It just didn't come off for us tonight, did it? But we've said that now for the past 3 games. It just didn't come off for us. You can't keep saying that. Meg, do you think that Ollie's in trouble after this? Like, genuinely, after 3-0 nils, obviously we're worrying about falling into this dogfight. I'm not saying I'm Ollie or anything like that. Of course, I wouldn't do that. But I'm just asking, do you think, like, the pressure's getting to him a bit now? Obviously, 0-0, like you say, where's the next goal coming from? The derby coming up next. I mean, it's going to have to be some worldly of a performance if you're going to get anything there, really, isn't it?
It has to be a worldly performance because Man City are just bossing the league right now. The way that they play, the players that they've got. I think someone just mentioned it. They scored 3 goals in 12 minutes last night. On the Ollie, no, I don't think he's in trouble. I genuinely don't, because I think he knows he's got the backing of the board. 3-0 nils, okay, not what you want to be seeing. They're not 3 losses. You know what I'm like, Soph, old positive pants over here. Like, I will try and find something to talk about that is good. We haven't lost those 3 games, so I don't think he will be in trouble. Different if we had come away tonight having lost. Weekend will be huge, regardless. It's a derby, and we always kind of say form kind of goes out the window at these kind of games because they've got more about it than just where we are in the league at the moment. But I don't think that Ollie will be in trouble right now because we haven't lost these. We've drew them.
But when you think about the fact that we were first in the league not so long back, and now it looks like we're going to be falling into this dogfight for second, third and fourth, should I say. Do you know, it's worrying. It is worrying. And the fact that, like you say, where's the next goal coming from? The fact that we don't look like scoring as well worries me. It concerns me that it seems that all players at the minute are low in confidence and not performing at the same time. It's a bit of a recipe for disaster. I'm worried. I'm not sitting here and saying, look, obviously, we've known it in the past. People got pissed off with Ollie because he was getting results when he needed them the most. you'd probably class City now on Sunday. One of them moments where if he pulls out a win, it doesn't look so bad, does it? But
so everyone's saying that. I'm not saying that I think what we've in the last 3 games we have been anywhere near good enough. But what I am saying is that I think Ollie won't be in trouble. We've been in worse positions, and he has not been sacked. He's not been told to leave. That's what I mean. It's not been good enough. I am not deluded to the fact that it's anywhere near positive. I am, however, not going to sit here because I know a lot of people will, that they come onto the platform like this or they go onto Twitter and you will hear us read so much BS tonight. People saying all sorts, slating every single player on that pitch for clout. Not me. I'm not that kind of person. I want to sit here and say Ollie is not going to be in trouble after 3-0-0s. We have been in a worse position. We're second in the league still by a point, but we're still there. He won't be going anywhere after this. And people can call me deluded or whatever like that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, every single player needs to go. I'm not one of these people that's going to exaggerate an opinion because I want likes or I want attention. No, that's fair enough, but he won't be in trouble. And as much as people want to go on bang on about it, he won't be.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ollie's safe, but my point is that not scoring in those 3 games, obviously the running games that we've got coming up as well, like you've got to be worried as a United fan. And I do worry for Ollie because the pressure, obviously, it's not easy being a United manager. He's coming into this really sticky patch. And like I say, I think in the past when he's got these sticky patches, he's come up in a big game and we've got a result in it in the past. But recently, we've seen our record against the top 6 and it's not looking good. A lot of times we've registered a 0 there. So it's going to have to be a special performance against City at the weekend. We definitely need to bring our A game and we've got to hope that they have a bit of an off day if we're honest about it. We're still obviously in the FA Cup, we're still in Europa, so there's still a chance of us getting a trophy. We're still in Champions League places, so it's not all over. But my worry is obviously we've gone from first in the league to now dropping into that dogfight. And that's what we said, we don't want to be dropping points in these kind of games and falling into that because it adds pressure, doesn't it? I'm Blue, thank you for the super chat. His body didn't look great today. He needed Lindelof there. I think it's hard to say any player looked great today, other than the 2 that we've mentioned, if I'm honest with you. I think it's hard to comment on any player. But Lindelof being dropped, I think it tells you that he's obviously going to start against City at the weekend. I think we all know that's going to happen. Alex, thank you for the contribution as well. 3-0 draws is a major worry. Goals have dried up. Exactly. We need to find some form and we need to find it fast. That's my point. Do you fear for Ollie? Because are we in this run of form now where we're going to struggle to get out of it? And next thing you know, we are in that dogfight or maybe even out of it. Or are we going to get that result at the weekend that we need? We need a positive result. We need to get some goals because it does look like it's dried up at the minute, doesn't it? And it does seem that, for me, Meg, there's a lack of confidence there.
Yeah, it's not been good enough at all. And I think we haven't had we talked about that Cavani presence in the team. You're missing kind of Cavani, that like I said, character. Pogba's kind of character in and around as well. Can have it with your squad, and I think right now, this weekend, we just need to go in and not over respect City to the fact that we're scared. Okay, they are where they are for a reason. We don't want to go out and get battered, but you've also got to understand that we're second, and we need to ensure that we prove why we picked up so many points this season to be where we are right now.
Yeah. I'm Blue says last season our aim was to get closer to City and Liverpool, and now we are closer to City than we were, and we are above Liverpool. Yeah, definitely. But I think you have to take into account as well, obviously, COVID, having no fans, and the fact that Liverpool have had their injuries. City had a wobbly start to the season, and now obviously they've gone on that long run. You have to take that into account, bro. I completely agree. I've always said that there is progress under Ollie. I do feel we're on the right path. But you can't tell me that performances like tonight, performances like Chelsea, they're not good enough, Meg. It's just not good enough, isn't it? We just do not do enough to win these games. And we said that Ollie needs to find a way to change these draws into wins. Again, today was another example. And to be fair, that's probably the poorest game I've seen for a long, long time from United. I mean, it was dreadful, wasn't it?
It's just, like I said, it wasn't even... We said about not having a performance, just at times just getting the points, and we didn't have a performance or the points. So we can't sit here and be happy about anything in terms of the Man United. But players have a bit... I think it's just a case of right now, like I said, at the weekend, you've kind of just got to go and not show too much respect. Because Palace are becoming our new Burnley.
Bloody Burnley.
You will look back on the season though, and we said about this about Chelsea and the 0-0s. They're not the ones that I'd look back at. It's the games that like tonight and the first game against Palace. That's going to be our issue when we look back at the review a whole season where we dropped points that we should have got points from. It's these games.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on? I mean, I've seen a few people asking in the chat. Apparently, I mean, I didn't see the end, but I walked off to come and set the stream up. If I'm honest, so couldn't watch anymore. But apparently, Ollie walked off smiling at the end. Me personally, I don't read too much into that.
No, I don't read into it.
To be honest with you, I don't. I'm pretty sure he's got a streak in him where he goes into the changing rooms and he's a completely different character. I think that's just in front of the camera. But do you read into that much, Meg?
Not at all. How many times have I smiled on this stream? I can smile now.
I could cry.
I'm fuming, but I can sit and just be like, okay. And I think you just shouldn't read into someone's character like that. Like, he can walk off, but because he smiled, just wouldn't. Someone should put Ollie out trending. That's ridiculous.
I think that sums up our fan base. Like you mentioned earlier, it's no reactionary. People jump on these platforms and spate it because we've had a poor run of results. I'm not about that. But I do also acknowledge that wasn't good enough tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you.
Said, how do you suggest we play against teams that put 10 men behind the ball? These are the teams that we always seem to come unstuck against. Yeah, I agree.
By playing quicker.
I was going to say, firstly, by not walking around and actually moving the ball quicker and trying to play the ball in between the lines rather than these sideward safe passes that we saw far too often again tonight. But for me, it's the pace in which we do everything at. Everything is just so half-passed. Like, they just can't be bothered. Literally, I'm seeing players walk with the ball. Like, say, in extra time, I'm seeing Boy stand there with the ball in his hand, Luke Shaw the side of him, waiting to take a throw in. No urgency at all. No desire, no hunger. And bear in mind, like, the attacking players, Meg, not so long back, we were saying they were firing on fronts. We were all really excited at seeing the likes of Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani coming into that, Martial. What's happened? Because since that point, we've just completely dried up.
They've kind of all dipped in form at the same time, haven't they? And it's like, at times that players will dip out of form.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right now, every single attacker has dipped out of form, especially tonight. None of them were up to scratch.
It's a good point. Casual. Do you think it's time to having no fans? I do think having fans in there would change it, because fans would be on players' back. No way would they settle for that kind of performance. Like, I do think that would implicate it, and that would change the attitude a bit. But they're playing for Manchester United. For me, there's no excuses for a performance like that. Vincent said that game should have been called off. You could not see a single United player. That's because no single United player turned up, apart from Henderson. I'll take that back, I'm sure. But yeah, shocking. We couldn't string 3 passes together, mate. I saw Bruno picking the ball up from the edge of from Henderson's area.
Poor. I think the passing for me, the passing and the movement were just the passing was too slow, the movement was too slow, and that's when you've got 10 players behind the ball. Yeah, happy days for them. If that's how you want to play and just move it side to side, slow passing, keep it. Because they'll just sit back, and they did. They didn't need to move out of position to go and close anybody down. They didn't need to move out of position because nobody made that 5-yard extra movement off the ball. Yeah. So as Palace defensively, carry on, just pass it side to side as slow as you want.
They were comfortable, weren't they? They're not at any point we stretch Palace today. Not really. Probably one bit towards the end when Dan James got him behind and put a cross in. But other than that, I didn't see. I think Wan-Bissaka had 1-1 at somebody. Other than that, we were just so safe and sideways. You didn't really see much happening. You had that Wan-Bissaka cross in the first half that obviously almost got through to Cavani. It was great defending. But I could not sit here and honestly say that we created a clear-cut chance or we looked like scoring at any point. I kept hoping that something was going to click into place. I kept begging that Ollie would make a change. But even that's just so slow, even from the bench. It's just far too slow. Like, we seem to just hope that something's going to change. When it's obvious when they came in for the second half, when that ball rolled under Rashford's foot, for example, it's obvious that nothing was going to change. Like, we needed to change the personnel, didn't we? We need to change the tactic. And like I say, bringing McTominay on, for me, that should have done far more earlier. For me, Fred and Matic shouldn't have started. And we said it from here, it's not a good balance to have. And I think that showed again. But you can't give... How do you summarise that? That Manchester United team, for me, is still good enough to go out there and beat Crystal Palace. And like I say, no disrespect to Palace, but the players simply did not turn up. The attitude was all wrong, and there was no creativity. Meg, absolutely nothing was there. Palace were comfortable, and like I say, in the end, you'd have to say they're unlucky not to get the win.
Yeah, and like we've mentioned it previously, that Henderson save kept us right in it at the very end. That's the only reason really that we managed to get a draw. That could have quite easily have been a loss, 3 points gone, or 1 point gone, should I say? But I'm just trying to read comments as we go, just trying to see what's coming in.
Curly says, if you don't want it, you won't win. Simple. They wanted it more than us, 100%. No excuses. These are 30 million players, 80 million players. We'll add on there. They should be winning games like these with ease. Not with ease. Like I say, I've got to be respectful to Palace. They're a tough team. Obviously, we're away from home as well. So I don't think it was easy. But we to be honest with you, Palace will be disappointed they haven't won that game. Not just because of that chance, but I feel like if they actually went for us today, they would have won. There's something in that game for us. We simply were not at it. Yeah. I don't even know what to say, Meg, after that. Would you have liked to see Ahmed come on? Do you think that would have made a difference? And I know he's young and stuff, and you might say it's a lot of pressure to put on his shoulders, but he's on the bench, and if he's on the bench for me, then Ollie sees something in him. We should be throwing that sink at it. I would have brought him on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like I said, I think we were relying on anybody, to kind of take their opportunity. And if you're going to do that, then why not put on a player that isn't probably, he's not going to be short on confidence because he's not had an opportunity not to be short on confidence. You just go out there and do what you've got to do. And we didn't look like we wanted to do that. Like we said, we put McTominay on. So
yeah. I'm Blue. Thank you for that super chat. It says we finished with 66 points last season, and now we have 51 in 11 matches. With 11 matches left in the Premier League. And Ollie's from Norway, where it's common courtesy to smile, and not sure how you guys do it in the UK. Firstly, about the points, yeah, but it's this form right now that I'm worried about. The run of games that we're in and the fact that we're not scoring goals, that could change very, very quickly in terms of the points total. And teams in and around us, obviously, all it takes is for their results to go the right way for them, and we're in trouble. We shouldn't be relying on other teams dropping points. Like, we were in a position where we could just focus on ourselves, and us by dropping these points, we're now going to end up relying on other teams, and we shouldn't have been in that position, in my opinion. And in terms of the smiling, like I don't read into it too much. I think it is frustrating after you win, especially when you see that, like after the derby, when you saw Alex Maguire hugging and stuff. For me, that's totally different. But two managers simply sharing a smile. If I haven't seen it, so I don't know the context, but I don't read into that too much, to be honest with you. Mr. Says terrible game. I think you're being polite there when you say terrible game, to be honest with you. Meg, what would you have done differently to win the game? Move it quicker, I think you said earlier.
Yeah, move it quicker. Like, if you, like I said, as a defender, if you as the opposition, you're just going to play it side to side and it's dead slow, and you're not going to move me out of my position, then that's absolutely wonderful. Easy. I'll just stay where I need to stay. But move a defender where they don't want to be. Go and crowd an area and allow some space somewhere else. Or go and start in one position and split two players. Go and stand 5 yards off your player.
Yeah.
Move. But it's just walk around all aimlessly with nothing really to do. Fine, carry on doing that. And I think that's what we lacked tonight. We didn't kind of have that kind of imagination to do something different. We kind of stuck with what we were doing and expecting something else, a different result, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, Connor says, I'm not giving excuses that it's no way good enough, but would you really chop and change the manager dynamics and the way the things are going, all because of a patch when we aren't scoring? Exactly, I think too many people are reactionary, aren't they? I don't think we need to say, Ollie out and whatnot, but there's definitely cause to be worried. Like you say, if he doesn't get to win against City at the weekend, then I'm pretty sure that attitude will swiftly change again. Do you know what I mean? And I think if they're not scoring, that worries. And they're not looking like scoring. I think that's what worries me. Because in previous games where we haven't scored, we might have created a few chances and said that we needed to be more clinical. We've moaned at our forward players for not putting it away. But in the last few games, it's been a case where we simply haven't had those chances. We can't even say we should have put them away because we haven't had clear-cut chances. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the worrying thing for me.
Yeah, like our forwards starved of opportunities, but that's where creativity players linking up together, dare I say Pogba, kind of create something. And him and Bruno create something. And I hope that when he comes back, he plays and we're like, oh, this is what we've been missing. But for me, like something like that, you can't be, when a player's not there, you've got to deal with it. I can't sit, they can't sit there and say, oh, I wish Pogba was there. As a fan, I can say, oh, I wish Pogba was playing, but as a player in that team, they've got to learn to deal with the fact that there will be players not involved in certain games, and therefore that creativity and that connection that those two players might have, someone else has got to step up and do it.
Yeah. But for me, in terms of Ollie, it's on Ollie, the fact that he picked Matic and Fred in there. That's not the right combination, especially with McTominay there and available as well. Like 2 CDMs like that, 2 left-footed CDMs. That's just not, from the off, I felt bad about that combination, to be honest with you. And that's got to be on Ollie. I'm not saying the whole thing's on Ollie, but that is on Ollie. The late substitutions on Ollie. The fact that the substitutions were positive, for example, Ahmad coming on, that's on Ollie. But at the same time, Meg, the attitude and the walking around on the pitch, no urgency, that's on the players, isn't it? It's a combination. Awful. Honestly, awful game. Probably one of the worst games I've seen in a long time. Not much positive to pick from it. I know Meg's had a go at getting some positives. We're not going to obviously go through the player ratings because if I'm honest, that's going to be a torturous watch and a torturous thing for me and Meg to do. All very poor apart from Henderson, I'm sure that's all we're going to say. Henderson, man of the match for that save at the end, should we say. But Meg, something's going to change, isn't it, going into that game at the weekend? What would you change from tonight for that at the weekend against City?
The midfield, the Matic and Fred duo. Trying to think, who are you going to have?
Lindelof, I think, will come in.
Yeah, Lindelof will come in, I think, to kind of go back to his usual partnership. But I'd put McTominay back in.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put McTominay back in, and that front three, I'd still go with Cavani up top. I don't know why Martial isn't involved. Did someone say that he picked up a knock or something in training? Yeah,
he picked up in training. So
we'll see how that goes. But I would go with Cavani and Rashford to start because of the players that we've got.
Yeah.
In terms of injuries, so yeah, Matic for McTominay, Cavani, Rashford, and then potentially looking at either Greenwood or Martial if Martial's fit enough to play.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be fair. Just please no Fred and Matic in the middle, please. I don't think that will happen. I can't see that happening, but Fred...
I also think if Matic and Fred play, we won't stay with 11 men on the pitch.
Yeah, true. I think
they'll just mess up. One of them will mess up, and the other one's got to cover for the other one. Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen, to be fair. I don't think we'll play them too, but who knows? But one thing for sure, we need to bounce back, and we need to bounce back quick. We can't perform like we did tonight because, like you say, it could be a 9-0 and us being on the receiving end of it. We can't have anything like that. We need to be up for it. The players' attitudes need to be better. The body language needs to be better. We need to move it quicker. And we just need to go for it a bit more. I feel like we need to be a bit braver as well. I think that's a big thing. And obviously against City, we're going to have to be brave as well. But yeah, I'm frustrated. Guys, if you are new to Hair Dry Treatment, please hit that sub button. I really appreciate it. Please hit a like button as well. We're nearly on 15k, so keep sharing the streams. Keep telling people to subscribe. Really appreciate it. Meg, I know it's been a tough one to talk about, but thank you for coming on and obviously shout out your socials as well.
No problem. Let's hope Sunday... So on the watch along on Sunday that she actually gets a goal to talk about, and any kind of goal would be great. But yeah, at Megan Can with a little underscore at the end. That's where I am. I'll be back on here potentially on my own. So if you are watching, and potentially I'll be with you after the game on Sunday.
Yeah, so Meg's going to do her own little cool down, so I'm going to be in London on the Don Robbie show. Obviously, feel free to come over and watch the watch along, guys. But then, of course, jump onto this one for Meg afterwards. Sorry we can't cheer you up any more than that, guys. Sorry that we're not our usual bubbly selves, but that performance, I think, has just drained us all. drained us all, hasn't it, Meg? But hopefully more positive things to talk about at the weekend. Keep smiling, guys. Look after yourselves. Thank you, Ryan Blue, for that contribution at the end. Appreciate that.
You.
Take care, guys. Football isn't everything. They still get paid their wages tomorrow, which is frustrating. So we've just got to carry on with ours. So, yeah, hopefully better times ahead for United fans. But until we are back on, guys, take care. Look after yourselves.